Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu narrated that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Let the slave of dinar and dirham and khamisa perish as he is pleased, if these things are given to him, and if not, he is displeased. Let such a person perish and relapse, and if he is pierced with a thorn, let him not find anyone to take it out for him. Tuba is for him who holds the reins of his horse to strive in Allah's cause, with his hair unkempt and feet covered with dust. If he is appointed in the vanguard, he is perfectly satisfied with his post of guarding, and if he is appointed in the rear guard, he accepts his post with satisfaction. If he asks for his permission, he is not permitted, and if he intercedes, his intercession will not be accepted."
طيب, this is a very beautiful hadith in Arabic. It's a very beautiful hadith, a very eloquent hadith. تعس عبد الدينار تعس عبد الدرهم تعس عبد الخميصة تعس عبد الخميلة إن أعطي رضي وإن لم يعطى سخط تعس وانتكس وإذا شيك فلانتقش. And hadith goes, it's a very beautiful, eloquent hadith in Arabic. I wish, the brothers could understand Arabic to benefit from this hadith more. The Prophet ﷺ is saying, ta'isa, meaning may he be destroyed, may he perish. Okay? So it's a statement of fact and it's a dua at the same time. It's a statement of fact in the sense that he is perished who worships the dinar. It's also a dua that the Prophet is saying, may he perish if he worships the dinar. So both of the meanings are applicable in this hadith. Okay? So the Prophet is saying, ta'isa abdul dinar, the worshipper of the dinar is perished. What does it mean, the worshipper of the dinar? First of all, what is the dinar? Yusuf, what's a dinar? Gold coin. It's a gold coin. So basically, a person who worships gold coin, in other words, money. How can a person worship money? Okay, Akhi, can you tell me how a person worships money? That they make money their goal of this life. They make money the only reason. Everything that they do is based upon money. Okay? So they have worshipped money in the sense that they have taken this to be their goal. They want to increase their money. They want to always get more money. They breathe, sleep, eat, and money. Okay? That's their whole purpose of life, is money. Okay? So the Prophet calls them the slave of money, the worshipper of money. So look now, when you do shirk, it doesn't necessarily have to be to a god or a deity. It could be to a concept, it could be to a currency. You can worship the dollar. When you take that thing to be your goal in life, when everything you do is based to get more money, then you are the worshipper of the dollar. Okay? So, ta'isa abdul dinar, ta'isa abdul dirham, may he perish the worshipper of the silver coin. So basically, money, gold and silver, okay? Ta'isa abdul khamisati, ta'isa abdul khamila. Khamisa and khamila, there are two types of cloths that are very good, very beautiful. So, may he perish he who wishes to, always his whole goal is to get good clothes. His whole goal of life is to get good clothes, okay? Now, obviously it's not haram to earn money, it's not haram to get good clothes. What is haram? When you make this your reason for existence. When you breathe, eat, drink, sleep because of these things. Okay? Your whole day and your whole night revolves around getting more money, more of this dunya. This is when you worship the money. As long as you, for example, a person, he might be money-minded. A Muslim could be, in a sense, money-minded. If he says his 5 prayers, and he makes sure that he does his obligatory acts, okay, and he avoids obtaining money from the haram, and he makes sure he gives his zakah and gives charity, then he is not sinful. Okay? But when he doesn't care about where his money comes from, he just wants to get money. Interest, no interest, mortgage, no mortgage, doesn't care. Just more and more money. When he doesn't care about giving zakah, when he makes his money cause him to forget the obligations. For example, he has to go to work, salah doesn't matter. We have to go to work, it's more important. Okay? Only when I have time will I pray. Okay? When he starts making his worship to that money, by neglecting Allah's commandments, that's where he is in danger, or he is actually have fallen into shirk, where he actually worships that money. Okay, so the Prophet is describing this man that may he perish, may he be destroyed, and he will be destroyed and perish. We said it's a fact and it's a dua at the same time. Okay, and then the Prophet said, if he is given, he is happy, and if he is not given, he is angry. So this is now not the characteristics of a believer. The believer is content and satisfied with whatever he is given. If he is given, he is happy. If he is not given, he is also satisfied. Whatever Allah has decreed is the best. As for the man who worships money, what is his characteristic? If he is given, he is happy. If he is not given, he is angry. So the Prophet is saying, ta'isa wantakas. May he be destroyed, may he perish, and may he never ever succeed in what he is doing. In takasa, the Arabic word, means that may his matters become overturned for him. May all of his affairs become difficult for him. So it's a dua that the Prophet is saying, and it's also a statement of fact. Do you understand what I'm saying? A dua and a statement of fact at the same time. Do you understand this, Ashraf? How is it a dua? is actually praying to Allah. How is it a statement of fact? It's describing whoever worships the slave, whoever worships the dirham and dinar, money, he will perish. It's a statement of fact and it's a dua at the same time. And then the Prophet is describing his pathetic situation. He's saying, if a thorn pricks him, he will not be able to remove that thorn from him. So he is so dependent on his money, he is so dependent on his worship, that the Prophet is saying he is absolutely helpless. Totally helpless. And it's also a dua. If a thorn pricks him, may he never be able to remove that thorn from him. If the smallest affliction happens to him, may he never be able to be removed from it. Okay? So it's a statement of fact, describing his helplessness, his situation. It's also a dua, that if a thorn pricks him, he will never be able to remove that thorn from him. And then the Prophet describes the opposite, exact opposite of this. Tuba. Did he translate Tuba? What did he say? Tuba is a tree in paradise, okay? Tuba is a tree in paradise. So and it's a tree who is so long it takes 100 years for a rider to cross its shade. Okay, huge tree. Okay, so the Prophet ﷺ is saying, Tuba, this tree will be for a servant. What is the description of the slave of Allah? He is holding on to the reins of his horse, fighting in the way of Allah. He's holding on to the reins of his horse in the jihad. Okay, and then he describes him, أشعث رأسه, that his hair is all disheveled and dirty, muddy, dusty. مغبرة قدماه, his feet are dusty, dirty. Okay, in other words, he doesn't care about his appearance. Versus the first guy, he wanted his khamisa and khamila, he wanted those good clothes, he wanted his money. His whole concern of life is to look good. His whole concern is his or her appearance. Okay, and by the way, in our times, many women, they worship their appearance. Okay, especially non-Muslim women, they literally worship their appearance because their whole concern is how they look. Their whole concern, their life revolves around their looks. So they have worshipped their looks. Okay, this man, he is the exact opposite. He is in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, holding on to his horse, doing jihad. He doesn't care about his appearance. He doesn't care about this life. He's concerned with the akhirah. Then Allah, the Prophet says, if he is in hirasa, he is in hirasa. In other words, if he is in the guardian, if he is guarding the army, then he will be guarding the army. And if he is in the saqa, if he is giving water to the army, he will be giving water to the army. What does this mean? Can anyone understand this portion of the hadith? The smallest job, no matter what they tell him to do, he is doing it. If his job is to guard, he will guard with full valor, with full enthusiasm. If his job, the Amir told him your job is to feed water to the mujahideen, then he will feed water with full enthusiasm because he realizes that all of this is for the sake of Allah. He doesn't want the fancy jobs, the big posts. He doesn't want to be in the limelight. He wants to do his job for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if the Amir tells him that your job is to feed water to the mujahideen, he will do so with full enthusiasm, realizing that this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward him for. Okay? And then the Prophet describes this man. If he asks permission, in other words, if he asks permission to enter a house or to enter the big tent, the army tent, or asks permission to enter upon the Amir, permission will not be given to him. He's a nobody. No one knows him. Okay? And if he asks to intercede, well, don't punish so-and-so, I know him, he's a good guy. A good intercession, he will not be listened to. His intercession will not be accepted. In other words, he is a nobody in the eyes of the people. But in the eyes of Allah, he is a great man. So he doesn't desire fame. He doesn't desire fortune. He doesn't desire that people know him. He doesn't care about his appearance. His heart is out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Only he wishes to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is an exact contrast to who? The other guy. His whole goal in life is to worship money, to gain more dollars, to gain more cents, to gain more clothes, to gain more houses, to gain more cars, to gain more children, to gain more luxury, whatever he wants. This is his goal in life. Okay? And unfortunately, how many Muslims of our times have started worshipping their money, started worshipping their prestige. All they care about is their status in society. All they care about is the money and the houses that they have. Where is Allah and His Messenger? They don't exist in this person's life. The Prophet made a dua, may he perish. And the point of this hadith, also a very important point, that the Prophet called him Abdul Dinar, the worshipper of the slave of the dinar, the slave of money. He worships money. Okay? So we have to realize that a person, when he takes something as his God, as he obeys him, his whole goal is this, then he starts worshipping that person. He starts worshipping that object, he starts worshipping that concept, whatever it is. Okay? I think we finished the chapter, right? And with that, we will open the floor for questions. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.